Power! She down there cooking some damn spam.
These simples.
Hey everyone, it's Micah Fragrance back at it again with another video. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to be the best smelling person at school. Now to set the baseline here, you need to shower every single day if you can, if not every other day, but make sure you're still being very hygienic. You need to brush your teeth twice a day at least, but definitely make sure you brush your teeth in the morning. Some people come to school with dragon breath and it is just not good, especially if you're first, meeting people, and that's their first impression of you, that you got bad breath. Not trying to be like critical or anything like that, but that's really some stuff that first of all you want to focus on. You also got to look presentable. You can't look like you just rolled out of bed. You can't have bedhead. You can't be wearing pajamas, quite frankly, if you're going for a really good first impression. But let's get into the first thing, which I think is a necessity no matter what. All right, that necessity is deodorant. Now, I use Old Spice. You obviously don't have to use Old Spice. I use Captain and Oasis. I use Captain when it's warm out because it smells like bergamot, and Oasis when it's cooler out because it smells like vanilla. Normally, if it's warmer out, my cologne is going to have bergamot in it or some sort of, citrus scent. And when it's cooler out, I'm going to have vanilla. So really with these, again, like I said, if you're a Dr. Squatch person, get Dr. Squatch. If you like Dove deodorant, get that. My biggest tip, skip the native deodorant. That is leaving you mustier than before you put it on, quite frankly. Really not trying to be rude, but you can even look up reviews. So many people are like, the native deodorant really doesn't do anything. Yeah, it, masks the scent for a little bit and then it just kind of makes you smell musty. So I would highly recommend skipping those. Yes, they have really good ingredients, phthalate free. I mean, I'm pretty sure that they're phthalate free and like free of a bunch of like chemicals and stuff like that. But I don't really think that matters. Ultimately with a deodorant, you don't want it to make you mustier than before you put it on. And again, like I said, I just prefer to use Old Spice, but use whatever you like. The next one is something very underrated that maybe you might want to think about or, look into. All right, and that is socks. I know what you're probably thinking. I wear socks every day. Who doesn't go to school wearing socks? Now, I'm not saying, you need to wear socks to smell good. What I'm trying to say is some people, if you got bad foot odor, you need to be switching your socks. I had a problem with that, quite frankly, when I was in middle school. Started switching my socks more often. Obviously, I was switching my socks every day, but switching them like twice a day. Especially like, just keep a spare pair of socks in your backpack. Say you got gym class, right after gym class, take your old sweaty socks off, throw a new pair on. It will really help with body odor. A lot of people, as soon as they think body odor, they think, oh, this person's armpits stink, they're sweating a lot. More than likely, it could be their feet. So socks are a really underrated one, and it's always just good to, take extra socks, especially if, you go outside for a gym class and your feet get wet. You don't want your feet to be smelling bad. So always just take a pair of extra socks just to be safe. And really, if you can, you should keep an extra pair of every article of clothing, extra pair of underwear, extra pair of shorts and a t-shirt, pants and t-shirt, whatever the weather is. That's just a good recommendation, in case you get covered in rain or something like that, something weird happens. So you'll always be safe. You guys know what's coming next because it's the whole thing of my channel. Fragrances. Here are 3 incredible suggestions for guys. So I did make a top 5 school fragrance list. You guys can go check that out. But here are some other recommendations. Now, 2 of these are overlapping. One of them, I don't believe I put my school video. And now the thing with a school cologne, is if you're just looking for a school cologne, you might want to look for a blue fragrance. That means it's like fresh with added depth. Or you want to look for something that's not going to be too loud, that's long lasting, and that you can really wear whenever, hot or cold. Here are 3 perfect suggestions. YSLY, any YSLY will do. I prefer the YSLY Le Parfum. Another great one would be Versace's Dylan Blue. And my last suggestion is going to be Mont Blanc's Legend EDT. To quickly sum up these fragrances, YSLY Le Parfum, really sweet green apple, kind of citrusy in the opening as well. Florals in the middle notes, and a tonka bean and wood heavy dry down. Versace Dylan Blue, clean out of the shower smell. There's bergamot, there's grapefruit, there's saffron, there's ambroxan. It's an amber heavy fragrance. A Mont Blanc Legend, woody, fruity, citrusy, has a nice little hint of vanilla, but these are all masculine fragrances. You can wear it whether it's 100 degrees or 0 degrees. So these are 3 great ones. 3 women's recommendations. Obviously, I don't have them on me, but here are 3 that Hollis wears that I think are super good, especially for school. Moschino Toy 2 Bubblegum, straight up smells like bubblegum. Jimmy Choo Blossom is this like citrus fizzy perfume, which I really recommend that one. And then Gucci Bloom, the original, you straight up smell like a bouquet of flowers. So those are 3 great women's fragrances. And those are obviously the men's fragrances. Now, as I said, you want to keep hygiene in check first. Do you need fragrances? No, you don't need fragrances. Really what you need before you have a fragrance is you need to make sure you are clean, you smell good. You got to think about it like this. Your body is a canvas, right? You clean your body and you put fragrances on the canvas, right? Per se. But there's no point in putting fragrances on a dirty canvas. I know the analogy might not make the most amount of sense, but you're putting this on your skin. If it's like painting, I guess, with that canvas analogy, if you're painting, you're not going to paint over something that's already painted, if that makes sense, right? You're not going to spray fragrances over something that stinks. You never want to use fragrances to mask body odor because it's going to mix with your fragrances and it's really not going to smell good. So those are really my tips, and obviously, like I said, guy or girl, doesn't matter. All these tips will apply. I gave 3 men suggestions, 3 women suggestions that I would highly recommend. Another thing, if you guys are going into high school specifically, so all you incoming freshmen watching my videos, few tips for high school. One, you're probably thinking, oh, you were in 8th grade last year, you like ruled middle school because you were at the top of the food chain per se. You're right back at the bottom. Try and be cool, don't try and be weird. Don't try and impress people just because you want to be friends with them. Try and go to as many social outings as you can, football games, basketball games, stuff to bond with people. Also, I feel like a lot of people are so like wary about like, okay, I'm a freshman. I'm only going to talk to mainly freshmen and some sophomores. I made a lot of friends that were seniors, juniors, sophomores, freshmen. Really didn't matter. Obviously I had friends that were freshmen already because that was the grade I was in last year. But just really try and make friends with anyone that you can. Because I met a lot of cool seniors that I only went to school with for 1 year. So there's a lot of really good experiences within high school. And I gotta say, so far, granted, I've only done 1 year, probably my favorite like set of school I've ever done. But that's gonna do it for the video. Wanted to give you guys some tips before I left off on this video. So just know I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Thank you all for watching my video. Peace, everyone.